This video contains spoilers. While traveling through the depths, you'll find all manner of things, from killer trees to eldritch beings beyond your imagining. But throughout this bleak landscape, two things remain consistent. One, darkness, and the second, and most important of all, gloom. A repugnant substance that seems to suck the very life force out of anything it comes into contact with. A substance that has infected every part of this land, from the wildlife to the very beings occupying it. And we all know who is responsible. Gannon. And you may be asking yourself this: how did Gannon do it? Wasn't he sealed away for thousands of years? And there's no way he could have covered the entire depths, which is just as big as the entire kingdom of Hyrule, in such a short period of time. And to that, I think I may have an answer. In the story, Rauru uses all of his remaining power to seal away Gannon. But what you may not realize is that the sealing was not perfect. How do I know this? Well, the calamities. The calamities are living proof of this, as they are masses of Ganon's diluted power. Meaning that somehow, some way, even though he was immobile, Ganon's power was leaking out of him. And we know that this wasn't a short-term occurrence, as it is highly likely that the calamity has happened on 3 separate occasions. The first being before the creation of the divine beast, the second being at their creation, and the third one being 100 years before the events of Breath of the Wild. Which means that Ganon's power has been leaking out of him pretty much the entire time he's been sealed. You may be asking, how did Ganon infect the depths with his gloom if most of it was coming together to form calamities? And to that, I have to say this. First, remember where Ganon was sealed. It was a cave system deep underground, which means that it's highly likely that the sealed Ganon would be located equidistant between the surface and the depths. So my theory is that some of his power would make their way up to the surface and become calamities, and the other portion would go down to the depths and become gloom and start infecting the land and creating all manner of creatures. And this would definitely explain how Ganon was able to cover the entire depths using his gloom. It wasn't an instantaneous thing like how the opening cutscene would have you believe, but something that has been happening gradually over thousands of years as his power leaked more and more and the seal became weaker. Which brings into question, how did the depths look like before Ganon's infection? While you travel through the depths in Tears of the Kingdom, you'll find that it's quite barren, with the very few plant life you see looking very pale, as if the life has been drained from them, which it most likely has, or being completely covered in gloom and trying to kill you. And the very soil of this land looking grey, worn out, and infertile, incapable of supporting any kind of plant life. And the only signs of previous life being the constructs overseeing the abandoned mines left behind by their long extinct creators, and the random skeletons that you will find across your journey signifying a previous species, as well as the bargainer statues, supposed deities meant to help guide lost spirits that you find across this land to the afterlife. And with all of this, I theorize that if you were to walk in the depths before the time of Ganon, you would find a breathtaking world of bioluminescent plants who, much like the light roots, would have provided a comforting light, staving off the darkness. A world rich in ores and minerals like zonite, amber, and even diamonds. A world where all the souls that had went astray could be guided back to the path of the afterlife, and untold creatures could have thrived. This only goes to highlight the evil that is Ganon, for not only has he taken countless lives, but he may have also robbed the world of Hyrule of such a wondrous place, and instead given it an icy and worthless purgatory. And that is an unforgivable sin. And that's all I have for today. If you enjoyed this video, please, give it a like and subscribe, leave your comments down below, and you may be responsible for the next video. This video was kind of inspired by 2 different comments. They really wanted me to delve more into the depths and the things that are found inside there. And if that's what you guys like, I could potentially make more theories on the depths. I've got at least 2 others. But if you have any other theories, like from any other games or anything else like that, I'm free to make it. I hear Pokemon is gonna have a new DLC. I'll be making some theories on that, so yeah. See you all next time.